Hi, Malcolm Groves from Code Partners here. If you're a user of one of Embarcadero's developer tools, you might have seen an announcement recently about the future of their upgrade versions. That announcement triggered a bunch of questions amongst our customer base, and so I thought I should make just a little video to maybe answer some of those common questions and clarify the situation just in case you're not entirely sure what's going to happen with this announcement. So if you haven't seen the announcement, I'll put a link to the announcement and also a blog post we made explaining some of these things in the video notes. But otherwise, I'm going to try and explain what's going on here. Before I can really explain the announcement and what's going to change, I might have to just step back a little bit and quickly explain something called update subscription, because this announcement affects customers on older versions of the product. A lot of those customers, a lot of the questions we've been getting have been from those customers, and partly it's been because they haven't understood or don't know what this update subscription stuff is. So let me explain that first, and then I'll be able to explain the announcement. Okay? So update subscription's actually been around for a long time, almost as long as these tools have. But it used to be, and for a long time it was called maintenance. So if you're not sure what update subscription is, but you know what maintenance is, then you're fine. Just search and replace and you'll be okay. If you're not, but just in case you're not aware of maintenance either, basically it used to be an optional add-on that you could purchase when you purchased your license that gave you 12 months of coverage for new versions. Yeah, a few versions back, I can't remember, a few years ago, they renamed it from maintenance to update subscription. But basically what it gives you, and also in a very recent version made it, it's no longer optional, it's just bundled into the price when you buy your initial license. What you're actually buying is not just a license, you're buying a license and 12 months of update subscription. Yeah. So one of the common questions that's come up because of the word subscription in there is around the license. So just to be totally clear, the license that you're buying is a perpetual license. Yeah, it keeps on working. Even after your 12-month update subscription ends, your license keeps working. Yeah, so let's get that off the table right now. If you choose not to go ahead with the renewal of your update subscription, your license is going to keep going. Yeah, but what update subscription gives you for that 12-month period while it's active is it gives you a bunch of things, tech support cases, access to betas, there's a few other sort of things like that, but probably the biggest thing that people look at update subscription to get is all new releases that come out. Yeah, that's major releases or point releases. Yeah, what used to be called update packs, now calling them update packs is a bit misleading because it's not only bug fixes that come in update packs these days, it's also new features. If you have a look at the recent 10.2.2 release and even the 10.2.1 release for Tokyo, there's been a mixture of bug fixes and new features in those. I'll put a link again in the video notes so you can have a look at what's been released in those update packs. Yeah. So update subscription, apart from the tech support and those sorts of things, gives you 12 months of coverage for any new releases. So when 10.2.3 comes out, whatever new features and bug fixes are in those, you'll just get them. When 10.3 comes out, whenever that is, if your update subscription is still current, you'll just get it. You don't have to upgrade, you don't have to do anything. Yeah. So that's what update subscription gives you. So you buy your license. Oh, sorry, you buy what you think you're buying is a license, but it's actually a license plus update subscription. Yeah, 12 months. The next question is, well, what happens after 12 months? Yeah. So after 12 months, you've got the option of renewing for another 12 months. Yeah. And getting another 12 months of coverage for new releases. Yeah. Plus the other stuff, the tech support and the beta access and all that sort of thing. Totally reasonable question at this point is, well, how much is the renewal? Some people think that after 12 months they've got to pay again what they paid before, but no. Remember, what you paid before was for a license plus an update subscription. At the renewal point, after 12 months, all you're buying is the update subscription part. And it varies, the decimal point varies, but it's roughly 23% of the new user purchase. Yeah. So after 12 months, it'll be roughly 23% of a new user purchase that you pay to get another 12 months. Yeah, just to keep the maths really simple for a simple man like me. Let's say you spent $1,000 on your initial purchase, which was license plus update subscription. After 12 months, if you choose to renew for another 12 months, you'll be up for roughly $230 out of that $1,000. Yeah. So you can see from that even if you don't, in the past, I know some customers haven't upgraded to every single new release. Maybe they've taken every second one or whatever. But you can see at 23% renewal for 12 months, you can go for several years before and still be better off price-wise compared to an upgrade version. Okay? So that's just a little detour into update subscriptions. Hopefully that clarified that for some people who aren't so sure. Let's talk about upgrade versions, because this is where the change comes in. Yeah? So if you're on an update subscription, nothing changes. None of what I'm about to say applies to you because you've got 12 months of coverage where you're getting all new releases anyway. So this only really applies to people who aren't on update subscription, which these days is the minority. It used to be, most people weren't on maintenance. But these days, I checked the data the other day, and it's actually quite a small percentage of people who aren't on update subscription. Yeah. So this applies to you if you're not on an update subscription. If you're on a recent version, okay? Now, Embarcadero define a recent version as being up to 4 versions back. So if you think about it, the current version is 10.2 Tokyo. So if we go 4 versions back, that would cover 10.1 Berlin, I have to get this the right way around, 10.1 Berlin, 10 Seattle, XE8 and XE7. Okay, so if you're on XE7 or later, then, and not on an update subscription, then if you want to get to the latest version, then you can buy an upgrade edition. Yeah, upgrade editions are roughly 65% of the full new user edition. Yeah, and that 65% again gets you an upgrade license, perpetual license, plus 12 months of update subscription, and then the renewal like we talked about before. Yeah, in 12 months' time, you can optionally choose a renewal and go again for the 23% of a new user license. Yeah. So if you're on a recent version, XE7 or above, and you want to get to Tokyo, 10.2 Tokyo, then you can buy an upgrade. Yeah, fantastic. If you're not on a recent version, if you're on something prior to XE7 and you want to get to the latest version, then you need to buy a new user license. Yeah, well, it's license plus update subscription, but a new user version, put it that way. Okay. Now, hopefully that makes sense. That's kind of been how it's been for a few years now. Yeah. What's changing? Let's get to the announcement. So what Embarcadero have announced recently is that from the beginning of April, the upgrade version is going away. Yeah. So if you're on, what does this mean? If you're on update subscription, it means nothing. Nothing changes for you. Okay. After 12 months, you'll get every new version. After 12 months, you'll get the option to renew for roughly 23% of the new user license cost, and you'll get another 12 months. So if you're currently active on an update subscription, this means nothing. Yeah, you can stop listening, have a nice day, move on with your life. If you're not on an update subscription, and you're on if you're not currently on an update subscription and you want to get onto the latest version, yeah, then you've got whatever it is, 6 weeks or so until the end of, at the time of recording this, it's about 6 weeks away from the end of March. During that time, you've got a window of opportunity to get onto the latest version. Yeah. Now, if you're on a recent version, XE7 or above, sometime now, between now and the end of March, you can buy an upgrade version and get on to the latest version, get update subscription, and then you're good to go. If you're on an older version, though, what Embarcadero have announced is that they are removing that upgrade restriction. Yeah, so I said that in the past and up until this announcement, you could only upgrade if you were on a recent version, 4 versions back. Well, that restriction is going away between now and the end of March, yeah, to give everybody a chance to get current and onto update subscription, so that then you can just renew each 12 months if you want. Okay, so if you're on an older version and you want to be current, between now and the end of March is your chance to dive in at the upgrade price, which is about 65% of the new user license. From April 1 onwards, if you decide you want to get current and onto update subscription, you'll have to pay the full new user license. Okay? Hopefully that's clarified things for you. If you are not on update subscription and you are invested in these tools and intend to upgrade at some point in the future, you want to think about whether you do that in the next 6 weeks or not. Okay, because like I say, you've got this window now to have a good think about how you use the tools, how dependent you are on the tools, and whether you want to be current or not. Even if, when you're on update subscription, that doesn't mean you have to use the latest version. It just means you've always got access to the latest version. You've got access to older versions as well. We certainly, on our customer projects, some customer projects we're on older versions, some we're on the latest version, just depends on the project. But we have the flexibility to choose that. If before the end of March, if you don't get up onto that new version, and then at some point in the future you realize you want to or need to, then it is going to be a more expensive exercise for you. So like I say, if you're invested in these tools, now's a good time to have a think about your plan and whether you want to get up to date between now and the end of March. Okay, so hopefully this video has helped clarify things a little bit. If you've got any other questions, I'll put a link under in the video notes on how to contact us, ask us some questions, talk to someone if you need to, just so you can totally understand your situation. I'll also put a link in here to a recent page that we put up on our website, which outlines some of the big changes that have happened recently in the tools, new features, new platform support, that sort of thing. Because, like I say, this does impact people who are on older versions, and in many cases we've found those people weren't aware of some of the recent changes. So I'll put a link into what's changed recently in the tools. Like I say, I'll also put a link in there on how you can contact us, and we can have a chat about what this actually means for you. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that helped. Otherwise, reach out and contact us, and we'll try and sort it out for you. Okay. Cheers, guys. I'll talk to you soon.